Here's Stephen Bowman with a Conscious Governance Moment.
The effective strategic review process is just not about ticking off, yes, we've reviewed our 493 risks and we've added one. It's not about adding to the risk register as such, but it's actually looking at the whole process behind risk identification, risk ranking, risk monitoring, all of those sorts of things to ensure that risk becomes an integral part of what we do rather than just a standalone report that we get from the Finance, Audit and Risk Committee once a year saying, hey, we've got risk management in place. So some very simple things that you can do. The first one is to look at your risk reporting in itself. One of the things we've found incredibly powerful is if you can imagine your risk management report, and it'll list down all of the risks, and there'll be various columns in there. You can probably visualize these in your mind. Here's the risk, and here's its rating, and here's how we're going to deal with it, and here's the residual risk, all those sorts of things. But two extra columns. First one, the second last column says strategic opportunities. What are the opportunities that this will actually create if we were to do this really well? Let's look to see how we can leverage off how we're actually managing this risk. And then the next column, which gets even more exciting, is now, where might the revenue opportunities be for this? If we do this really well, will that enable us to look at other contracts that we may not have otherwise have looked at? Does it enable us to look at partnerships we may not have otherwise looked at? Does it enable us to go into other markets that we wouldn't otherwise have thought of going through? And let's have a look to see what sort of dollar value perhaps, or the value that might come from this actual strategic opportunity. If you can get the mindset of your board and your senior executive to this level, risk becomes exciting and innovative, which is, again, the flip side of strategy. It's just a different filter that we look at things through.
More information? ConsciousGovernancetv.com